I think the first thing is, you know, I was really in love with the Rickenbackers. You know, was the first guitar I really liked. I went out and got the guitar in high school, and it was great. It's got the vintage toaster pickups, which is great and all, but it turns out actually a lot of the musicians I liked who played Rickenbackers actually had the high gain pickups, and so it kind of sounds kind of on its own, I don't know, kind of muted. So I found this Jangle Box compressor sustain box that actually I think has its origins in Roger McGuinn from the Byrds. I think had a micro version of that actually put inside the guitar to give him that real clean, bright sound that you heard, you know, in the Byrds. And so I bought that pedal, and oh my gosh, I don't think I could play my Rickenbacker without that. It just brightens it up and gives you a lot of more what you're thinking you want out of a Rickenbacker. So that's been a great pedal. That's like always on. You know, the Klon. This is a Klon KTR, which is a cheaper version of the Centaur, which is kind of a real boutique-y pedal that are really expensive now. This is a cheaper version of it, but it's an overdrive that's really a neat, very useful pedal. You can do anything from just like a clean boost up to turning up the gains and going from like a dirty Hendrixy type of sound to a real more metal sound if you really push it. So that's a really great pedal. Again, it's useful with the guitar like the Rickenbacker, which can kind of just be bright. This really helps add to that. I was also into the really kind of like 60s resurgence, kind of psychedelic resurgence bands like in the 80s that were into the 60s music, and I like the fuzz, the really deep fuzz. So I got this Woolly Mammoth, which is just a nasty pedal, really fuzz guitar. It's pretty intense. Spare the noise, but a real nasty fuzz sound, which is kind of fun if you're looking for that 60s psychedelic kind of sound. The lo-fi loop Junkie, I use that as well. It's kind of cool. It gives you kind of a lo-fi sound. You can hear the pitch shift. And really that had its origins for me out of like more of the electronic music scene, where you're kind of looking at folks like bands like Boards of Canada that are doing like a lot of analog stuff, like taking like tapes, putting their music on like a VHS tape or a cassette tape, recording to that, and then maybe just stretching the tape and re-recording it and getting that wobbly sound. And I saw this and I thought, wow, this is really cool pedal, because you can get that kind of wobbly, warbly sound that I was after. And I think Bill Frisell uses that as well sometimes. So that's a fun pedal. Space Echo. You know, I've heard this kind of more from the dub reggae kind of stuff. In Jamaica, they put vocals and all kinds of stuff through the Space Echo, which is a pretty cool pedal. You can hear all the different delays, and it's something too like the Edge from U2 has the real. This is a recreation of the real box version, but you'll hear it all over U2 albums, and you can use little bits of it in your solos to open up things as well. The Timeline and the Big Sky, you know, so I've got more delays, a delay pedal on the Timeline, and then a reverb with the Big Sky. And the Eventide is another reverb, and it's kind of a board version of its rack mount system that's used in a lot of music, I think, that you've heard. I think Daniel Lanois used it a lot with U2. There's a lot of neat reverb patches in there, and a lot of other producers have made presets for that. It's pretty fun to just listen to the different sounds in the Eventide, and then once you get pretty good with the presets, you can modify all of them yourself and make your own presets, so you can be playing for a long time. But that's kind of the basics of my board, really. Compression, a wah, some distortion, and then kind of modulation here with the lo-fi and the space echoes and the delays, and then you've got your reverbs, but that's the basic part of the board.